South Korea's national football team beat Cameroon on Tuesday night by 1-0, with captain Son Heung-min scoring a header in the 35th minute. This comes as the national team tied 2-2 with Costa Rica last Friday and wrapped up this international break without a loss. But that's not to say it's all positive. This was one of the last opportunities for the national team to get ready for the Qatar World Cup before it kicks off in November. And questions remain if the team can get through a tough group that includes Uruguay, Portugal, and Ghana. Now let's turn to KIM Tae-ryung, the Director of Fitogether, who also is a football commentator in South Korea. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Now, the talk of the town this week was Lee Kang-in and whether or not he'd get a chance to stake a claim for a starting place. He's had a good run of games at Mallorca, but wasn't given any minutes during the 2 games in Korea. Do you think he'll be given time at the World Cup?
Many fans must have expected Lee Kang-in's appearance because he played well in the Spanish league this season and returned to the national team after 18 months. However, from the day the national team convened, the media asked Bantu about Lee Kang-in situation and plans, but Bantu did not give a clear answer. Bantu must have felt uncomfortable about this situation. Bantu communicate his thoughts through actions rather than words. Lee Kang-in has not played in the last 2 matches Korea played against Costa Rica and Cameroon. Cold, but this is the current situation of Lee Kang-in in the national team. In an interview after the match versus Cameroon, Bantu said, looking at the overall situation of the team, we decided that it was not a good situation to have Lee Kang-in play in the last 2 matches. I personally respect and understand his words. Korea's captain Son Heung-min also gave an interview about the need to look at the team rather than the individual. I think they said what they could. In fact, Bantu seems to have made up his mind. He seems to have planned everything that will happen in Qatar in November. If there are no player injuries or critical issues, there will be no surprise picks or new tactical cards. I respect Bantu's choice in football. In selection of player is at the discretion of the head coach. At the same time, responsibility for the result rests with the head coach.
You're right. And as you said, speaking about the team, the South Korean national team has a mix of domestic league players and players from European leagues. How was the team chemistry among them? Are they showing signs of working together as the World Cup approaches?
4 K-League players were included in the best 11 of the match against Costa Rica, and 2 K-League players were included in the starting roster for yesterday's match against Cameroon. As you know, Korea's key players belong to overseas league, including Europe. An interesting fact is that there are many players in the K-League in defensive position. Yoon Jong-gyu, Kim Tae-ryung, Kim Jin-soo, Kim Moon-han, Hong Chol, Kwon Kyung-won. Yes, there are a lot of fullbacks, especially the side units. The current leader of Korea defense is Kim Min-jae. He's been amazing at big club Napoli this season. In these 2 matches in Korea, Kim Min-jae showed a good performance. He was diligent and really well communicated. Unlike other position, Korea's defense line, except for Kim Min-jae, lacks a sense of weight.
Right, and now you were talking about the defense, but now let's talk about the attacking side of the national team. South Korea's captain Son Heung-min, who everyone knows, is a winger, but he played as a striker last night. We know that he can play the role, but the team does need a striker with Hwang Hee-jo not at his best recently. Do you think the two will work well during the World Cup?
Well, first of all, Hwang Hee-jo did not show good condition in the 2 national team matches played in September. He has not found his rhythm since moving to Olympiacos this summer. And he had a lot of activity against Costa Rica, but his unique sharpness was lacking. In yesterday's game, he left the pitch with a back injury 6 minutes after being replaced in the second half. And luckily, it doesn't appear to be a serious injury. Can Hwang Hee-jo be Son Heung-min's best partner? It may or may not be. It will be a great card, but Bantu and the coaching staff will be thinking a lot about this. Son Heung-min position and partner can change depending on whether Korea will use 2 or 3 strikers and whether the choice was made in our own or the opponent's situation. Such as Hwang Hee-chan and Jo Kyu-sung, Korea has a variety of attack options. We can approach it in a variety of ways depending on the opponent and the situation. But reality is always different from video games, so football is difficult.
Right, and I hope Hwang Hee-jo's injury, as we all hope, is nothing serious. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you for the time. Thank you.